Welcome to today's class. In today's class, I will be introducing us to Adobe Illustrator. Why is this important? Why do I need to introduce you people to this? Is because, just like, explainer video is like the advanced form of, whiteboard session. That's whiteboard presentation. Now we view this like application of technology into the whiteboard presentation, teaching people through whiteboard. So in that process of doing whiteboard presentation, there's usually illustration, there's usually graphics that someone draws to explain their point. So this time around, we are just using graphics to explain our point. So there's no graphics, right? Is part and parcel of using, as in using graphics to give a visual interpretation of the concept that we're trying to sell, that we're trying to get across is a very crucial aspect of the whole explainer video. So now, and how do we now get these graphics into our After Effects? First of all, they usually come for me where some people use Corel Draw, but you know in all the Adobe suites, right? We have Illustrator, then if also Photoshop, then After Effects. So they work very well. I think for some people, there's a way you can actually after doing your illustration in Corel Draw, you can convert it to Adobe Illustrator. But instead of doing all those hassle, many times it's just best just learn Adobe Illustrator if really you are really looking into animation very much, if you are really considering animation, just learn. Just if you're in the Corel Draw space, please find a way to come into the Adobe Illustrator camp. So um, this is a folder here. So once you come in here, remember our file organization. Like today is just very simple. The major thing I won't be using plenty files, so I only just have my A AE, that's After Effects, Illustrator, and Reference. Now, yes, before I get my like what I normally do, okay, once I have a concept, and explainer video can be very long to from just a short thing like a few seconds to like 3 to 5 minutes. Now, within those interval, they usually you now have to break them down at every point in time. There's a particular concept that you're passing across. So this today, right? The illustration that I have that I'll be using for this sample is more of a search engine, right? Either search engine optimization, or we are using it to tell them to, okay, for you to get to our site, type www dot blah 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 dot this thing. So that's what this illustration is about. That's what we are using this to give a visual interpretation. It is search engine. So how I normally do it is that once I have my concept, okay, search engine, I usually go to, a very good there's this very good site. Like the site is very, very, very good. Like it helps me a lot. I come to this site. It's called freepick.com. Here, can you see it here? Freepick.com. And here you can see my search. Actually did this is my search. So I have my concept I want to portray, that I want to give visual interpretation. At that particular time, this is like search engine, right? We are searching for something. So I came here, I typed search engine. So I start seeing this. So you just need to double click once you see the particular this thing you like. Now it's free. There is a free version and there are some ones that are premium. You need to pay the premium before you can access some of them. So yeah, that's what I did, and I double clicked on it and did the free download. So that's how I got this. That's how I got this file here. And though it didn't come as search engine initially, I renamed it to search engine. So where understand is I'm also, to a large extent, I'm also doing a breakdown of my workflow here, how I also work. Because yes, um to me, this class that I'm doing is not so much of okay, introduce you people to, the emphasis is majorly about the workflow and assignment, and not so much of, because there are plenty materials, like as I said, out there. So if you want to really do all of that, so it's just for me to give you my own workflow. So yes, once we, it's supposed to come as, many times you have Illustrator file, but this is EPS. It's one of the vector file formats. So what you do is, well, after downloading it, you double click to open it in Illustrator. So this is what we have. So the first thing, okay, before I start doing this, yes, before I start to dive deep more, right? Yes, once you open your Illustrator, right? You know what? Let me do open new, right? Yes, all of this, many times you get to see this. Yeah, but once you say and start a new project, right? It usually gives you the option of okay, should you start a new, once you say start a new project, you come. This is the option it gives you. Now, all of these they are called different artboard. All these options here are called different artboard, and it's giving me these options because okay, here are my recent items. That's recent artboard I've used, and you can always come to, if I've saved anyone, I've not saved anyone. You can always come to mobile, web, right? Then film. So since we are doing video, since we are into video, right? And I've said before now, yeah, since we are doing video, the very, very, very industry standard dimension is this 1920 by 1080. Though there are like 4K, 2K, and all of that, but communicating the on the commercial communication, right? The online communication is still, and in Nigeria for now, it's still very much into just full HD. We've not really start, exploring for 4K. 4K and all of this is usually for film. You get when people need to submit their film to cinema and all of that. But if it's just to put on Facebook and all of that, a full HD is okay. Full HD is a 1920 by 1080 is okay. So this is the HD. This 720, that's 1280 by 720 dimension is the HD. Then full HD, right? Is 1920 by 1080. So this is the one you just need to know for now, right? Once you have this, double click on it, though it gives you, once you click, so this is like you're choosing a preset, right, that they've already prepared for you, but you can always come here to change and to change the option. Like this, it gives you the option of creating multiple artboard, like more than, maybe before now you've known that okay, in this project as I'm starting it, I need to have more than one artboard, so you can do that here. I think, let me just select three. Then once I press create, you understand what I mean by artboard. If you don't understand what artboard is, then all these ones I've known many times. I don't even touch all these ones. I don't even touch all these options. So just click create, then it takes us here. Now, many times, can you see? Many times I usually don't like to choose that option of video, right? What do I mean by the option of video? Once I go back, I want to press Control N now to create a new file, to create a new document. Many times I don't usually like choosing this option of film. Why? It's because of this thing, this background it puts. Many times I just want something, I just want it white. As such, I usually come here. How do I do that? I think I usually come to print, just choose anyone you print, then I change it to pixels. Yeah, then I change everything to 1920. That's, I type 1920 by 1080. That's full HD. So once I click create, see it's white, right? It doesn't have all those bars that makes it feel film, and I just don't like it. So with this, Yeah, but however, you see, it created three. There's a three of this. There's a three of this to see where to have control over this, right? You go to Windows and Artboard. Yeah, so here it is. See, there are three artboard. So artboard is just where when the artist is drawing. That's when artist is painting. The what was it called? The board that the artist puts his the board that the artist is working on is the artboard. Let's just put it down, is artboard. So for each project, it can allow you to have multiple forms of artboard, right? So this is artboard 3. So I can actually come here. Remember how I got here? I went to Windows, then clicked on artboard. I can actually, okay, so I double clicked on it and I zoomed into this artboard 3. So I can always come here and delete each one, right? But that's not that well, that's just to tell you what artboard is, right? So but this is how to create, if you're just starting from scratch, this is how to create a new project inside Illustrator. But today our focus is not so much about yeah, where I want to start is actually having, what's it called, imagine, okay, you have an explainer video. They are explaining a concept that has to do with search engine, right? That has to do with search, making a search, right? Then you've gone to free pick, you've typed in your search engine, you've done your search and you've downloaded it, right? To open it, you double click, which I did the other time. I double click to open it. Yeah, to open it. So I'm here. So the tools available to us here, well, this is just a quick intro. If you want more, you can always there are plenty of these things online for introduction to Adobe Illustrator. So the crucial tool here is this selection tool, and the shortcut is V. That's one here. Selection is V. Then there is the direct selection. What do I mean by direct selection? Usually when an object, with this, it allows you to select a particular object even after you've grouped them, right? Even when an object is grouped, because if an object is grouped and I'm trying to select it with this black arrow, right, with this selection tool, which is a black arrow selection, if an object, you can see all everything here is grouped. So once I try selecting it, right, with this black arrow, and the shortcut is V for this, it selected everything in a particular group. But if I want to make a specific selection of just one particular item, the better selection tool to use is the A. That is this direct selection, and the shortcut is A. I just press A, and okay, let me click out now and select. You can see I want to select her leg here to edit the leg, right? So I've done direct selection this time. Then after that, we have our pen tool. We have our pen tool, which we use to draw. You know what? To demonstrate that, let me come here to this, which we use to draw. Let's say you want to draw. Yes, let's say yes, you just want to draw something. This is it. Then you know what? Like I will give you people links to videos. Yeah, there will be links, or you can do research on YouTube on introduction to, so that I wouldn't waste. All I just need to do here is for you to understand how to, okay, once your graphics comes in a raw form, how do you package it now? How do you package it to suit the project that you're working on? How do you now format it to suit the project you're working on? Like, what's the workflow like, right? So that's the focus here now. I'm not so much focused, and the very crucial tool that I normally use for that, I think it's just this three that I've just introduced you people to. Yes, then any other one we will get to know that as I work on this So the major thing is just for you to see me work on this, format this whole thing as it's just coming raw. I format it to suit the project I'm working on. So the first thing I do, I need to turn, because the artboard now, right, is not, because as I said, the industry standard, especially for Nigeria now, is 1920 by 1080, right? But this now, if I come to this, yes, and a way to, this is it. The way to know your artboard dimension and all of that is come here, you click this, right? It's selected this. Yes, then you now come to property. You come to property. Okay. Yeah, you come to property. Once you see and you see this property, you can see that it is 1500 by, it is 1500 by 28,000. That's not what we want. We want full HD. So a way to quickly get that is you come here, you come to presets, custom presets, click here, then you scroll down, you should see this Google Pixel, right? It's also 1920 by 1080, right? But to be on a very safer side, it's just to come to this HD 1920 by 1080. You click on it, so you can see that the artboard itself is bigger than our 1920 by 1080 this time, but many times they usually come smaller. You now need to scale everything up, but this time around we need to scale everything down. So once this is done, you click on either select V or click on this selection tool, right? And come to, you know what, let me put this one down here. Then you come in. So since we've discovered that, okay, the dimension of the dimension, and remember also, mind you, yes, in as much as this is the industry standard, right, sometimes the client might actually prefer a particular dimension, right, may give a specific dimension other than the industry standard dimension size. So as such, all of that will control what the dimension, this dimension I just put in here. Yeah, apart from, so once I select this, right, you can actually impute it straight rather than having to, you can actually impute the distance straight rather than having to, okay, here, this is it here rather. This is 1920 by 1080 and not the other one that I was pointing at. Okay, this is 1920 by 1080. So you can actually punch in the okay, let me make this bigger. Let me make this 2200, 22,000 by, you can see it's changing by 28. You can see I've just expanded it, right? So but for the cost of this, right, we are just assuming now that our client wants just the standard, the full HD, just the full HD. That's what our client wants. So I'll come back here to go to custom. So this is just that's just to demonstrate to you. You can actually put in the particular number. You can actually punch in the particular number. So I'll come back here and choose my HDV, right? Then once that is done, I have my selection to the V selection tool. Then I scale everything down to fit the dimension. Okay, mind you, as I want to scale, this to scale things down, to scale it down, you just need to come here, hover your in any particular corner, right? Just hover your mouse there, then it changes. You can see it changes from this mouse icon to this particular icon here, right? Then I hold Shift and Alt to maintain proportion. I hold Shift and Alt before I start dragging, right? Before I start dragging, I think this is about it. Yes, this is about it. So, and I can hold Alt. I try scrolling in now. I just want to zoom in. A very good way to zoom in okay, you can press your, if you are not using a mouse, right, you can press Control plus to zoom in, Control plus to zoom in, or holding your alt, you scroll with your mouse, you scroll up and down to zoom in or out, zoom in and out. So I think this is about it. So I can click out here now to start reformatting. So for me to format, the first thing you need to ask yourself, now this is one of the things that differentiates a pro, what's it called, a professional looking, um, um, a professional looking work, yeah, explainer video from an average explainer video. For an average person, once they bring in the asset that kind of portray the concepts that they are at that particular time that they are trying to pass across, they are good enough. Or even when you look at some people's presentation, I think this might actually speak to plenty of people in this class. Many times when they are doing presentation, once they just go on what's it called, on Google, and they type the name, the particular thing that they want, they just bring the image and put it in there. They don't take the time to like format. What do I mean by format? A crucial part of formatting is your color scheme, and you don't just choose color scheme. Let's say, for instance, now, let's say the client that we are doing this whole thing for now, I've just taken his TCN, that's Covenant, the Covenant Nation, right? Then next thing you now need to do is the color scheme, right? You now need to look at the color scheme, and a very good way to get is the color scheme for any particular brand is to go to their website, right? Which I've done. You can see here. I went to, okay, this is the Instagram. I've screen grabbed the Instagram page, right? And also, yes, this is the Instagram. But this time around, or their website, to like get their color, the feel of what their color is like. But this time around, I'll just be, another very good crucial way is to just focus on the logo. This time around, I'll be focusing on the logo. I'm using the color scheme on the logo to to format my this thing, so that everything will be in unity. Color is a very good way to maintain unity, and that's what one crucial thing I do in the process of formatting. So I can bring this in here. Wait, let me create another folder. To create a folder, to create not a folder rather, to create a layer, a new layer, you come here, you click this, then I can have this as reference. Yeah, and all of this is coming from here because there's this intro to AI file, right? I have After Effects, then I have AI, and I have my reference, right? So all of them is sitting here. So I can bring this into the project, and remember I created a new layer for it. What's this saying? Are you sure you want to convert colors to a destination document? Yes. So I have this, but interesting enough, the colors are like, there are some colors that are already matching. You can see this, not very much exact, but is in the same, okay, I think this and this, but is in the same, is the same value, almost the same value.